Hey guys, and welcome to tonight's live. My eye's watering. Oh, my poor little eye. I just noticed it. Here, let me make sure my eye's not watering. That's sad. I wasn't crying, I promise. I wasn't crying over Kohberger's alibi, I promise I wasn't. I don't know why my eye was watering. Probably because I just blew my nose. But welcome on in. If this is your first time here, hello, hi, welcome. If it's not your first time here, hello, welcome back. And if it's not your first time here today, welcome back. Because we had a live earlier today. So we did do a live earlier today over Madeline Kingsbury. If you're not familiar with that case, it's a pretty good one. Mother went missing in March, end of March. They found her in June, and now they have charged her ex with her murder. So they released a bunch of documents in that case. So we've been going over those documents the last couple of days. It's kind of nice to see like how other states and other police agencies, they do their paperwork, because we've been reading a lot of Idaho paperwork, it seems like, on the channel. So it's kind of nice to hear something different, like to see something different. But if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like, that really will help the channel. It's free to do. I say that all the time. And it's funny because I have my old notes up here and it still says we're trying to reach 10,000 Titans. And so every time I look at my notes, I'm like, oh, I'm about to say it. So we're trying to reach 15,000 Titans over here. So if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, it does help. Hey, Selena. Hi, everybody. I saw a bunch of people in the chat. Haven't seen in a little while. And Sally Mae came in with a good joke. Where's Dot when you need something explained, right? I love that. I love that you said Dot. I've heard a little about her. Before we get started with tonight's live, we did have, I did do a poll on the community tab over the last 3 or 4 days. And the question was, which Nancy Grace did you like better? Because we are going to get ourselves a Nancy Grace cardboard cutout. I think she's like 6 foot tall. She's pretty tall. But the one that ended up winning the contest was the blue blazered Nancy, which I think she will. Isabel was right. She said she'll look good behind me with the dark wall. So I think that the blue blazer will stick out. So that's the Nancy that won. Picture's kind of small there, but so we're going to get her next week. So I'll have to check Huckleberry Hound for you. I'll check. And hello, Ashley, coming in. I saw, hey, Judy. Saw some people. Frenchie's in here. PK. I heard that she wasn't missing anymore, though. I don't know. Yeah, this one matches my decor. I really love green. I love her with the book, and I love the green because I love green. It's my favorite color. But the blue will look so good back there. I know it will because it matches my chair. So now the only thing I need is like a light. I want to get a certain light. And then we're good. We're good on the home front. But yeah, we're going to get her. Vincent already got her for us, actually. He bought it last night, and he didn't even tell me. He told me this morning. He was like, I got you your Nancy. And I was like, what? I was like, thank you for getting me my Nancy. So he got her for us. She's on her way. I wonder how the people that build these cardboard cutouts, I wonder what they're thinking when people are ordering these. Like, where are you going to put a giant Nancy? Just behind me. I think one night when I come up for the live, I'm just going to have her sitting here, somehow where it looks like she's sitting. So I think that'll be funny. And then Saturday is going to be a really good show because we're going to do our giveaway. So what I decided to do is instead of just doing one cash giveaway for reaching 10,000 subscribers, we're going to do 2 giveaways. We're going to do a giveaway for the members, and then we'll do 2 smaller giveaways for subscribers. So just be here Saturday. That's all you have to do is just show up, and then your name will get into the drawing. And I guess be a subscriber too of the channel. And if you want to become a member, you want your chances to be, a little bit, I guess, better for you to win, you can always become a member. So, and I'll put that in the chat. I normally have it ready to go, but for some reason I didn't have it in there. And sometimes I like doing that. So instead of Nightbot. But we'll go ahead and get started with tonight's live. Let me see. If you missed the live earlier, you're now just hearing about this. But if you were on the live earlier, you already heard this, because at the end of the live, Bryan from Let's Talk Live, he came up on panel. He heard me talking about some stuff, and he came up just to kind of join for a second and was like, hey, this is what's going on. And then he's like, there's like new documents that came out. Before the live, there was no new documents. So they came out right when we were live. Only one came out, though. Selena became a member. Welcome. Welcome, girl. Welcome. Hey, sis. The best I can describe it. I might have missed the one. Oh. You want a blue or green? And green. Yes. Very much so. Okay, let me see here. I do say that a lot. I do say that. Let me see. I need a shirt that says that. Think it's time. Think it's time I get me one. Because I know there's certain things I do say a lot. So before we get to the alibi, I just wanted to cover this with you guys a little bit, because I didn't know which video I wanted to cover this in. So this is what tonight's live was actually going to be on. But it's just basically, this is the paper that came out, the document that came out about a week and a half ago. And it was the motion to dismiss the indictment on grounds of error in grand jury instructions, or in the alternative, remand for preliminary hearing. And because I'm going to show you a video here in a minute. So just wanted to bring this document up. I'm just going to read the top of this document. I'm not going to read through all of it, but I just wanted to read you this and then one section in there. So comes now Bryan C. Kohberger, buying through his attorney, J. Weston Logston, Chief Deputy Litigation, and hereby moves this honorable court for an order either dismissing the indictment in this matter, or to treat it as a presentment and remand for a preliminary hearing before a magistrate. This motion is made on grounds that the grand jury was misled as to the standard of proof required for an indictment. And then there was this right here. The grand jury ought to find an indictment when all evidence before them, taken together, if unexplained or uncontradicted, would in their judgment warrant a conviction by a trial jury. So this document came out last week. And then I think it was, and the state's response to that was like, no. I'm trying to find the affidavit or the document I was trying to look for. Maybe they didn't, maybe it's up here already. But no, so they wanted to go ahead and they wanted it to be motion to dismiss the indictment. And then the prosecution, like you guys have known, the prosecution's been saying, like, what is your alibi? You have like 10 days after your like notice of to give an alibi. You have like 10 days to produce an alibi. And he kept asking for more time. Well, the last I heard when these documents came out were that he was going to have up until the trial to produce his alibi. That's how I took it as, anyway, was that the judge was going to give him, because, you know, the state didn't have all the labs and stuff back yet to give to the defense. And the defense kept asking for more evidence to give them an alibi. Then we're looking for something in the evidence to produce the alibi. And the judge, I swear he was like, just go ahead and I'll give it till, you know, we go to court in October. But I guess not. I guess they went ahead and they decided to produce one today, which is, it's just kind of crazy to me, because we weren't expecting this. The court date that was supposed to happen on the 2nd, the motions hearing, it got pushed to the 18th. So did I not have the live chat one on my side? I say, let me know, because I thought I had it all set up. And it should be on slow too. It is. Okay. But I wanted to read over this with you guys that way, because it's going to get us kind of started with, you know, the other paperwork in this video that I'm going to show you. Now, I do want to go over on the next two lives, Friday and Saturday. I'm going to go through the PCA, and I want to go through like the night of the 13th, of course, but I want to go through Bryan's travels of that evening, start there, and then make our way backwards So that'll be some good lives to look out for too. And we're going to see if we can make the new alibi fit the PCA. We're going to try to play devil's advocate. So I'm going to play this video really quick for you guys. And then we're going to go get into the alibi and the document that came out today. So let me see if there's anything else here I wanted to tell you guys. So, yeah, basically having the alibi released today is really helping my lives for this weekend, because I wanted to go back over the PCA and I wanted to go over how Bryan Kohberger, got from point A to point B and then back to C, or actually he made some stops, but I wanted to go through all of that, his travel, and then go work our way back to the actual crime scene. So I'm going to play this. If you guys wouldn't mind taking a second to hit the like button, it really helps. My nose is itching. Does that mean someone's talking about me or I'm getting money? Forget what that means. Whatever it is, stop it, y'all. It's probably just allergies. Well, welcome to the Titan emoji, donkey. B. Simon. Welcome. Okie dokie. Let me go ahead and play this for you guys. It's not very long. It's only 6 minutes. So.
Mr. Kohberger, do you understand the charge in count 1?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Bryan Kohberger formally asked the judge to dismiss the indictment charging him with the murders of 4 University of Idaho students, as prosecutors asked the judge to bar him from presenting an alibi at trial. Thanks for joining us here at Law and Crime. I'm Anjanette Levy. There's a lot of legal wrangling and maneuvering taking place in Bryan Kohberger's capital murder case. He has pleaded not guilty to the November 2022 murders of Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. His attorneys had previously indicated that they would challenge the indictment. The likelihood of Judge tossing the indictment is very slim. So in the alternative, Kohberger's lawyers are asking that the case be sent back to a lower court for a preliminary hearing. That's a hearing where prosecutors call witnesses to show there's probable cause that the defendant committed the crime and should go to trial. The defense.
I just wanted to pause it real quick because I wanted to tell you guys my personal take on it. And I don't know if this is why the prosecution went for a grand jury, but I think that the prosecution might have went for a grand jury because it's held in secret. Because of that fact right there. I think that they didn't want, especially with everything being so tightly sealed in this case and everything under a gag order in this case, I don't think they wanted to risk doing a preliminary hearing where the public can just come into the courtroom, sit down, listen to everything that's being said. And then also the defense will have that time to, witness. They will be able to talk to the witnesses that they have and question them. And I think that that's just a one-up for the defense. So the prosecution just decided to do a grand jury because it is held in secret. And I think they thought in their head that they weren't going to, Kohberger wasn't going to get a copy of the transcripts. I don't think that the officers in this case or the prosecution even thought of the defense playing that angle and being like, well, we want the grand jury records then, because normally that doesn't happen. It's a secret grand jury for a reason. Normally that's just how it goes. It's for, the protection of everybody involved. But in this case, they don't, I understand the judge. He wants to pick his battles, you know what I mean? But sorry, I'm putting stuff on my elbows, lotion. Anything that shouting from the rooftops that you're innocent and have an alibi is going to free you when you're already arrested. If you're already arrested, no, yeah, it will free you. If you're already arrested, if you're sitting there when you get arrested and they take you to the police station, that's when you tell them, when did you need my alibi? What day was this crime? What day did this crime happen? And if they said, November 13th, then you say, well, this is where I was November 13th. And if you go to my apartment or test my devices, you'll see. But I think that the reason why they did the grand jury is because it is held in secret. I don't think that the prosecution was doing it and for any other reason, I think, other than that, really. It is something crazy every day. Hey, I know, right? So I'm gonna keep playing this for you guys, but I wanted to point that out.
Sometimes benefits from a preliminary hearing as they get to question state's witnesses before trial. Since the grand jury basically does the same thing, determines probable cause, prosecutors in the case decided to go that route because grand juries hear evidence in secret, not in open court, and the defense is not there. The prelim in this case had been scheduled at the end of June, but that was canceled since prosecutors used a grand jury instead. But Kohberger's attorneys claim the Idaho Constitution requires a higher standard than probable cause for a grand jury to indict. They argue the standard is actually beyond a reasonable doubt, as it is at trial. Later in the filing, Kohberger's attorneys acknowledged the Idaho Supreme Court later determined probable cause is what's required for an indictment, but they argue the court didn't have the right to change the legal standard. I asked criminal defense attorney James Bogan about Kohberger's argument.
I think that's what you'd call a boilerplate motion, Anjanette. In death penalty cases, usually the defense will file well over 50 motions to cover every little angle. And this is one of those things. I think they're also trying to question say that the grand jury selection process and the questionnaire were not proper either. Those are things that tend to be routinely raised in motions in death penalty cases, more to try to cover the record.
What do you think the likelihood of this motion succeeding is? Because they're asking, they're asking the judge, if you don't dismiss the indictment, we want you to send it back instead for a preliminary hearing. They, I think, very much wanted a preliminary hearing because that would have given them an opportunity to cross-examine state's witnesses ahead of trial.
I don't think that this motion is going to go anywhere. In most cases, defense attorneys, we love having a preliminary hearing so we can flush out certain things with witnesses, pin them down about certain points. And of course, you always get a transcript of it. So when these same witnesses testify at trial, sometimes you can go back and go, hey, you really said this.
The issue about whether Kohberger will present an alibi at trial has also come up. Last week, Kohberger's lawyers had responded to a demand from prosecutors that they provide information about Kohberger's alibi, should he decide to present one at trial. His lawyers said they're still investigating and preparing for trial and plan to elicit testimony about Kohberger's alibi through cross-examination of state's witnesses and experts. Philadelphia defense attorney Fred Perry told me recently, presenting an alibi defense is risky.
The presentation of an alibi defense from a criminal defense attorney standpoint is extremely difficult. Once you start the process of trying to have to prove something, the burden kind of shifts because in a criminal trial, a defendant is presumed to be innocent and has no burden of proof. It's the government has to, prove their case. Once you start trying to prove an alibi, you better be able to prove that your client was in a spaceship circling Mars at the time of the incident. Otherwise, the government's going to punch a lot of holes in your case. It's a very, very difficult process.
Prosecutors filed a response to Kohberger and said his attorneys are not complying with the rules about providing information about an alibi. Prosecutors write that Kohberger's defense is required to provide the specific place or places at which the defendant claims to have been at the time of the burglary and homicides in this case, along with the names and addresses of all witnesses upon whom the defendant intends to rely to establish such alibi.
The state is actually correct here. In Idaho, it's different from Ohio. In Idaho, within 10 days after a written demand by the prosecutor for any alibi witnesses and things like that, the defense has to either provide it within those 10 days or at a time that's set by the judge. So it looks to me like the defense might be looking to try to get the judge to set an alternate timeline, saying, hey, we need more time to investigate before we can commit to anything.
Prosecutors want Judge to order the defense to turn over the alibi information or tell them they can't present evidence that Kohberger has an alibi at trial. Finally, the defense is asking the court again to stay or delay the proceedings. They claim the process of selecting grand jurors was flawed because of the number that responded to subpoenas. and they believe that there were also issues with the questionnaire.
I was actually shocked that it was scheduled for trial that soon, because death penalty cases, there's so much stuff to go through. Typically, that looks like a trial date that's too fast for the attorneys to really do their due diligence. They might be. I find it I think that's what they might be doing. I just find it it strikes me, Anjanette, is that they're trying to get a stay on the trial while at the same time they're trying to keep asserting a speedy trial rights. You can't have it both ways, in my opinion.
Bryan Kohberger will be back in court August 18th. At that time, motions about genetic genealogy information and other issues will be argued. For Law and Crime, I'm Anjanette Levy.
I didn't want it to keep playing, but so they've been going back and forth for a little while about the alibi. Normally, I think we were supposed to get it on the 24th of June. That's when we were supposed to get it. Then we didn't get it because I was going to dress up, which I don't know why I didn't dress up tonight. I should have, because we got the alibi. We got his alibi. I should have dressed up tonight for you guys. I'll have to do it this weekend. But they were just talking about, like back and forth. It's been going back and forth for a while. Like, what's your alibi? And they've been kind of fighting each other on it. And the defense keeps saying, well, they need more evidence before they can come up with their alibi. And the state is kind of saying, well, we've given you 51 terabytes, so many pictures, so many, all this stuff. Now you want more. And they've been arguing back and forth. So it's been a little crazy. I was trying to look up the actual paperwork that was okay, this one here was the one I wanted to share with you. I was trying to see when this one came out real quick. This came out July 24th. That was when we were supposed, did I say June? Because it's supposed to be July. If I said June 24th, I'm sorry. But July 24th was when we were supposed to hear his alibi. And welcome in, everybody. I saw Pippi Longstocking was in here, and Tiffany and Tammy and True Crime. I saw Harlot. Yeah, I saw some more people too. Welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in. You guys are just in time. Figure that's why I play a little bit of a video in the beginning, to get more people to come in. So this is from the 24th, and I'm going to read the brand new document that came out tonight. Get your guys' opinion on it. This is This is notice for defendant's response to state's alibi demand. So this is Bryan's response to the state's alibi demand, and this was just on July 24th. Today is August the 3rd. So what, like a week? So a week ago, this is how he was feeling. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby files notice, files notice in response to the demand for alibi and in compliance with Idaho Code 19-519 and Idaho Criminal Rule 12.1. And to quickly go over those, like the statutes there for you guys, because they come up in the next document as well. Whenever they say code 19-519, that is the compliant and warrant of arrest. It's notice of defense of alibi. And I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. And we'll just read through this real quick, and then we'll read through the ICR 12.1. It's not very long. That way you guys are more familiar with what the statutes are. But this is the notice of defense alibi. So it says, at any time after arraignment before a magistrate, upon a complaint and upon written demand of the prosecuting attorney, the defendant shall serve within 10 days or at such different time as the court may direct upon the prosecuting attorney a written notice of his intention to offer a defense of alibi. Such notice by the defendant shall state the specific place or places at which the defendant claims to have been at the time of the alleged offense and the names and the addresses of the witnesses upon whom he intends to rely to establish such alibi. So they want the witnesses' names too. 2, within 10 days after receipt of the defendant's notice of alibi, but in no event less than 10 days before trial, unless the court otherwise directs. The prosecuting attorney shall serve upon the defendant or his attorney a written notice stating the names and addresses of the witnesses upon whom the prosecution intends to rely to establish the defendant's presence at the scene of the alleged offense, and any other witnesses to be relied on to rebut testimony of any of the defendant's alibi witnesses. 3, if prior to or during trial a party learns of an additional witness whose identity, if known, should have been included in the information furnished under subsection 1 or in subsection 2 of this section, the party shall promptly notify the other party or his attorney of the existence and identity of such additional witnesses. 4, upon the failure of either party to comply with the requirements of this section, the court may exclude the testimony of undisclosed witness offered by such party as to the defendant's absence from or present at the scene of the alleged offense. This section shall not limit the right of the defendant to testify in his or own behalf. 5, for good cause shown, the court may grant an exception to any of the requirements of subsections 1 through 4 of this section. So it gives you a little bit of a background. And the other one is really short. So the 12.1 is a notice of alibi. If the defendant intends to rely on the defense of alibi, the defendant must comply with Idaho Code 19-519, and that's the one we just read. So let me go ahead and go back over here. All right. Mr. Kohberger notes that Idaho Code 19-519 preserves his constitutional right to silence as well as to testify on his own behalf. Mr. Kohberger stands firm on his constitutional right as well as the statutory recognition of that right. Noteworthy is that an alibi indicates a line of proof by which the defendant attempts to show that he could not have committed the crime of which he is accused because he was somewhere else at the time. C.C. Jorklin, Alibi Defense 27, it says, a defendant's denial of the charges against him does not constitute an alibi, but as soon as he offers evidence that he was at some other, I'm sorry, let me read that again. But as soon as he offers evidence that he was at some place other than where the crime of which he was charged was committed, he is raising the alibi defense. Mr. Kohberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at the location. Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than the King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules, as well as statutory requirements. It is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witness produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. So that kind of gets us caught up to that. Oh, thank you, Detective John, for the super sticker. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I need to have my glasses on. I was like trying to see that. It was bad, wasn't it? I've been reading way too many documents. Yeah, he probably should have said, I don't know where I was. I don't know. It probably would have been better than what I'm going to give you here in a minute. And so the Idaho Code I just read, and then the other one, the other code, the ICR, they're in this document too. So we'll just go through this, and this is what we've been waiting for. So if you guys haven't read the document yet, put in the comments what you guys think what you would have thought Bryan's alibi would have been. I thought he was going to say he was at home. I thought he was just going to say I was at home, but he didn't. He didn't say that. He didn't. I'm like this is different. So, State of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. Objection to the state's motion to compel motive of defense of alibi, or alternatively to bar certain evidence. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby and objects to the state's motion to compel motive of defense of alibi, or alternatively to bar certain evidence. Idaho Code 19-519 and ICR 12.1 require an alibi disclosure of a specific location with a specific location and witness to so testify. That's a really weird way to put it. By statutory definition, Mr. Kohberger may remain silent yet testify that he was not at 1122 King Road, November 13th, 2023. However, in an abundance of caution and recognizing the court has authority to exclude witnesses, Mr. Kohberger has indicated he anticipates cooperating witnesses. So he anticipates cooperating witnesses to this. This here is like going to just be the, they are just different examples of what they're going to use. So I'm not going to read through this, but it is on the website if you want to read through that part. It's just all of the different, examples that they give you. It says, Mr. Kohberger has long had a habit of going for drives alone. So already he's saying, hey, y'all, I'm known to drive alone. Now, I've heard not a lot about Kohberger, but we haven't heard that one. We've heard, some things about him, but not drive. He doesn't like to drive. From what we've heard, he wouldn't drive home, cross country, to his mom and daddy's house. So you're just going to be driving. No, these roads back there that I can like, these are country roads. I don't know. These are country roads. It's just very strange. You think you'd have your GPS with you, if you're going to be going on a long road, like a drive by yourself. I mean, because it happens. He does stay up late. I will give him that. He is known to stay up, late, cleaning or whatever. But I'm sure that the cameras that pick him up going out of his apartment to and from, they'll notice that there's a pattern if he leaves in the middle of the night, if he's done it before, other than the 12 times of him going to the King Road residence. But that could be of the habit of going for drives alone. Often he would go for drives at night. Kind of sounds like, well, a lot of people do. He did so late on November 12th and into November 13th. So I want to keep, so right there, they're saying that he was driving November 12th. So in the PCA, it gets him at like 2 something. And we're going to go in way more deep into that, the PCA part of this over the weekend's lives. But it catches him like leaving his apartment, or catches him on camera at like 2:40 something in the morning. So that's November 13th. They're saying that he was driving around November 12th. So was he driving around for that many hours? So he was driving around prior to midnight. So prior to midnight, so let's say 11 o'clock. And he was just driving till 6 o'clock then, or 5 o'clock the next morning, 4 o'clock the next morning, 5 o'clock the next morning. It would have been 5. I don't get it. Where are you going, bro? That's a lot of that's too many miles on the car. Get the car up on the gurney. Let's see how many miles there are. Yeah, easy to get lost in the boonies without Google Maps, Julie. You're so right. And I grew up on those roads, those back roads, and you don't just not take your GPS. Like, he did have his phone, it was on airplane mode, but his phone should have been turned on if he was just driving around aimlessly, like hanging around. Like, that's cool to take drives by yourself. Maybe he was smoking a little weed or something, just taking a little ride, listening to the music, getting into the groove. But for 6 hours, nah. 7 hours, nah. So he did so on late. Man, I didn't catch that the first time we read through this, so I'm glad I did that time. So yeah, Mr. Kohberger is not claiming to be at a specific location at a specific time. At this time, there is not a specific witness to say precisely where Mr. Kohberger was at each moment of the hours between late night, November 12th, 2022, and early morning, November 13th, 2022. Early morning is early morning, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, not 4 o'clock. I don't know. That just seems later to me. But so up here it says that he has corroborating witnesses. He anticipates corroborating witnesses. But down here it says, at this time, there is not a specific witness to say precisely where Mr. Kohberger was. So are they just going to materialize out of thin air between now and trial? Because that means it's not Dylan, it's not Bethany. They're saying there is not a specific witness to say where he was. So we can't throw them girls under the bus and say it was one of them two that knows, and they're going to be the exculpatory evidence. Can't go that route no more. He was out driving during the late night and early morning hours of November the 12th through the 13th of 2022. Now, I'm just going to grab this out because I want to know the exact time so I can remember. Yeah, so it started at 4:20, or wait, hold on. Nope, go back. 3:26. That doesn't make sense to me, Kohberger. You should have said that you were driving in the same time of the same time of the murders. You don't put yourself driving on the 12th. Why would you do that? They don't even have you over there on the 12th. They got you. They don't got you there till like 3:30 in the morning over there. So why are you saying? Maybe he was driving to Florida. He was driving to see me. That's what it was. He was driving home. He was going to PA. He was like, I'm out of here. Oh, my Lordy. Kohberger's giving me a migraine. I just got my Botox yesterday, so I'm good to go. Thank you, and thank the God, and thank the doctor. They knew that they knew I needed the Botox before I could read all this. I'm gonna grab my drink real quick. Oh no, there's more. I'm like, there's a little more. This is the best document we've had in a while. Yeah, so far his alibi is that he's driving by himself. He said that there's going to be corroborating witnesses, he hopes. But then down here he says that there's no witness to say precisely where Mr. Kohberger was. They're saying that he was driving between November the 12th, so the night before, till early morning, November 13th. That's a big window. I mean, come on, guys. I can say that I can say this with certainty, but for myself anyway. I grew up in a small town, so I've been on a smoke ride or two. In my teens, we used to do that. So, like, if you're going to go on a smoke ride, you're on a smoke ride an hour tops, 2 hours tops. You're going to fall asleep if not. You're not cruising around for 6 hours or plus. What would it be like? Like 5 hours, 6 hours? Hey, Mama Jerk. Oh, welcome. I can't believe the defense even came back with this. I know, right? You would think that they would have thought a little more about it. Like, okay, just at least put us in the time frame of the murders. Like, at least do that. Because who's going to be driving around this much? Just hanging around. Like, I mean, I used to take some long rides too. And, never did that. I missed that comment. His neighbors in his apartment said he was up all night cleaning, etc. Can see him driving at night, unable to sleep, but who knows what happened. This is such a crazy case. Yeah, anything can happen. You're absolutely right. If you're going to do like, an alibi, just kind of make it a little better. As he was driving, he threw the sheet through the bedroom window and kept driving. That's not, I shouldn't be laughing, but that's funny. That's funny. He just tossed it. And it went through the top, we'll say it even took a detour. We'll say it went through like Kaylee's room first and then, went around. Yeah, that's how bad it's been. That's kind of like, how crazy it's been though. And I'll keep reading the little document here. Oh, here, let me take that off of it. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. If you don't mind just taking a second to hit the like button, if you don't mind. Okay, so it says here, I went down a little too far. Counsel for Mr. Kohberger is aware that case law broadens the definition of alibi with the statutory requirement of a specific location to more broadly include disclosure of information that tends to state the person claiming alibi was at a place other than the location of an offense. Mr. Kohberger has complied to the extent possible at this time. He said, I ain't got nobody that can help me. Corroboration of Bryan Kohberger not being at 1122 King may be brought out through cross-examination of the state's witnesses. And the key word here is, keywords are maybe. So they're fishing there. At this time, Mr. Kohberger cannot be more specific about the possible witnesses and exactly what they will say. Just like we don't know what I'm going to say in the next sentence from now. That's not a defense. The defense has been hammered by the state's own choices. Like what? The state chose a secret grand jury. That's what a grand jury is. Rather than planned preliminary hearing. Their feelings are hurt. Like, I'm going to tell y'all, that's really the defense's feelings are hurt. And the state's feelings get hurt too in these documents. And I'll call the state out too, but that is the defense. They got their feelings hurt. They got the ball taken away from them at recess. They didn't get to cross-examine all of the state's witnesses. That, they didn't get to see more of the evidence. They didn't see how the evidence was going to play out. And I believe, like I said in the beginning of the live, I think the state did a secret grand jury because it's a secret. Everything in this case is under gag. It needs to be sealed. It needs to be gagged. They didn't want to do a preliminary hearing. Here's our evidence and let's let the public in while we're at it. It makes no sense to me that they would even stick with preliminary hearing. It makes sense to me that you would do a grand jury because it isn't secret, although the defense has all of the transcripts. So it's not much of a secret anymore, just a secret to us still. So let's see, where am I at? Oh, thank you, Mama Jerk. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super sticker. That's so sweet. Thank you. Idaho, where the men are men and the sheep are always nervous around Kohberger. Tsunami. I'm saying that Nelly, if he was driving around from November the 12th in the documents here is what I'm saying. If the documents are saying that he was driving around from November the 12th, so that is before midnight. So I'm rough guesstimating he started driving around 11 o'clock. If he goes all the way through till the murders are done and back to Pullman, that's around 5 something in the morning. So that would be about 5-6 hours of him just driving around aimlessly. That's where I was getting the times. I have the PCA right here. And I always look at it. You can rest assured on that one on this channel, girlfriend. So that's why that's why I'm wondering, because it says November 12th. That's why I'm wondering why Kohberger didn't put his alibi more like I was driving around November 13th around 1 a.m. to 4 or 5 a.m. That would maybe go in line with the PCA and the cameras that are going to show up and and track him. Like, I think that would have been a better decision on the defense's part. I was just reading the chat. Yeah, like, you know what, Brooklyn, you just made up a good point too. Gas money, like that's a lot in gas. Yeah, like you take like an hour drive. That's what I mean. Like if you're going out, like even if you're just like hanging out with your friends and you're toking down the road and you're on these back roads and you're doing your thing, that's going to last an hour, 2 hours tops, not 4, 5, 6 hours. It's just, that's a lot, I think, to be just saying, I'm just driving around. I'm just driving around. But you know, if it comes out and it's true and that he was just driving around and that's true, then I'll have to come out and say, well, I was wrong. It says, where was that? Okay, it says the state chose a secret grand jury rather than the planned preliminary hearing. Had the state moved forward with the preliminary hearing, the defense would have had the opportunity to develop testimony through cross-examination and witness presentation. Instead, the defense has only received, on July 27, 2023, a copy of the testimony the state chose to elicit. Review of such is underway. You've had it, a week. Wonder how big it was. I mean, like, they're saying that they only got, a copy of the testimony that the state chose to elicit. That's just something that they're putting in there, I'm pretty sure, because they got all of it except for the witnesses' names or something like that and the personal information. The defense had to obtain investigative materials from the state's investigative counterparts, the FBI, through an order compelling the state to provide such materials. The state had made draft disclosures just 2 weeks ago. The sufficiency of these disclosures is currently being analyzed. Corroboration of Bryan Kohberger not being at 1122 King may be brought out through expert witness presentation. That analysis is underway. Expert witness presentation. I know where they're going to do with that. They're going to attack the cast whenever they go on the stand, and they'll attack the cast, and then that's what that's probably going to be. The defense has been diligently working to analyze relevant discovery materials and conduct its own investigation. Notably, the defense had to obtain a court order to receive relevant discovery materials. That delay hampers the defense investigation. It says this is just another one of those little examples, but I'll read it. The right to offer the testimony of witness and to compel their attendance, if necessary, is in plain terms the right to present a defense, the right to present the defendant's version of the facts as well as the prosecution's to the jury, so it may decide where the truth lies. Just as an accused has the right to confront the prosecution's witness for the purpose of challenging their testimony, he has the right to present his own witnesses to establish a defense, of course. This right is a fundamental element of due process of law. And I don't think that the state has ever said that he can't call any witnesses. So I don't know why they put that in there. Maybe you guys do. The defense acknowledges a vast amount of discovery has been provided. Discovery is received on a nearly weekly basis. That's pretty good. I mean, the defense reviews and acts on the discovery as quickly as possible, including making appropriate supplemental requests for discovery. The state's motion is an attempt to force the defense to open its work product files and let the state peek inside. But it's okay that the state gives you their grand jury records and lets you have a peek at the whole damn case. And you got me with that one. You got under my skin with that one. I'm going to read it again because I don't like her right now. I'm mad at her right now. The state's motion is an attempt to force the defense to open its work product files and let the state peek inside. The defense has stated all that can firmly be stated at this time. This is not trial by ambush from the defense. This is the defense requesting information as quickly as possible, yet in some instances face the delay of requesting a court order to obtain information. Personally, I think that I don't know why my brain just went, it just shut down on me. Let me read it again. The defense has stated all it can firmly be stated at this time. This is not a trial by ambush from the defense. This is the defense requesting information as quickly as possible, yet in some instances face the delay of requesting a court order to obtain information. That's what I was going to say. It seems to me, though, that every few days, she's putting in a request for evidentiary, like first supplemental request, second supplemental request, third, fourth, fifth. She's like hammering in to where I don't think that they don't have the evidence yet to give it to them, to where they're just putting in all these motions for no reason, because it's not something that the prosecution has in their possession to give to the defense. If that makes sense. The state continually uses those opportunities to attempt to force a waiver of speedy trial. That is a decision left to Mr. Kohberger and Mr. Kohberger alone. Mr. Kohberger was out driving alone. Corroborating evidence may come from cross-examination of state's witnesses. Corroborating evidence may come from presentation of defense experts. Mr. Kohberger is aware of and will comply with his continuing duty to disclose information. The court may exempt Mr. Kohberger from further inquiry. Mr. Kohberger requests such an exemption at this time. Continue inquiry at this juncture delves into his case investigation as well as protected work product. In support of an exemption, Mr. Kohberger is prepared to provide further detail in ex parte hearing with the court. Oh, thank you, Jan. She just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm going to read that last part again. Hold on one second. What was, thought I said. Joanne, so the defense allegedly has no defense. Yeah. Boho Explorer said, analysis underway. A digital forensic expert will show Bryan's computer was online or his game controller was, but that doesn't mean he was at home. I mean, even if he could do that, just say that if he could even produce something that say he was at home, that would be better than, saying I was driving around between the hours of November 12th and the early morning hours of November 13th. It's just very strange. Did you get one, Brooklyn? Oh, good. Good. Oh, you missed it all. Shell, you missed it. You missed it. We'll give you the rundown. We'll give you the rundown now. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say about all of this with Anne. Let me go back to this. There was something I was going to say. For one, I don't know why he wouldn't just say this from the beginning. Why has he kept saying this whole time, I need more evidence. Can I get more evidence? Can I have more evidence? Can I get some more? Because according to this, the 19, the subsection, the Idaho statutes, it says, at any time after arraignment before a magistrate upon a complaint and upon written demand of the prosecuting attorney, the defendant shall serve within 10 days or at such time as the court may direct upon prosecuting attorney for the alibi. They have 10 days to produce an alibi to say where they were at the time of the crimes, even if they don't have one. It's just, that's an Idaho law. So if I lived in Idaho and I was convicted of a crime, they would say, you need to produce an alibi. Where were you? Even if you were just at home sitting there, whatever, you have to say where you were. And you have to say who you were with. If you were with somebody, you have got to give that information. You have to hand that information over. He had nobody with him. He was cruising by himself between the hours of whenever. They didn't say hours. They just said the dates were November 12th through November 13th. And he doesn't have anybody that can corroborate him yet. Not yet, guys. But he said, maybe down the line, once this goes to trial, once a witness goes on the stand, maybe they'll say something that will corroborate his alibi. Now tell me if your kid was trying to put something like that and spin something like that on you, or would you believe it? No, not me. I'd be like, you better try that one again. Now I go back to where Ann Taylor, when she first met Bryan Kohberger, I know she had to have asked him. Where were you the night of the murders? Where were you? And did he tell her at that time, I was just driving around? I don't think so. Bryan isn't an alien. He's not. I think personally he was wearing like a Dickies coverall. That's why there's not a lot of blood. Like and it says total lack thereof. I don't know if that means zero. I don't know if that's just the wording that the defense is throwing, out there, because they do throw some stuff out there. They know they have traffic camera and ring camera footage of him circling the neighborhood like a shark. They're trying to explain, away the fact that he was caught by cameras in Moscow. Do you think that this could be because of the Linda Lane footage coming out and stuff? Like, maybe it really is him on that footage? I mean, I don't know if it is. No, they still wanted you to give it though, Nellie. And in the state of Idaho, you still have to give a notice of alibi. Even if you were at home by yourself with nobody, you have to say, I was at home by myself with nobody. It's not an alibi, but you have to produce something. You have to tell them something is what it means. And we went over the subsections of what the articles mean, the sections in Idaho. And we got them off the Idaho site too. I'm gonna actually put this in the chat. Also, don't forget on Saturday, we are going to do our giveaway drawing. So we're going to split up. So I was going to do one cash giveaway drawing, but what we're going to do is one for the members and then one or two smaller amounts for the subscribers. So if you want to become a member, it's a good way to, up your chances too. He became a map from 4 to 4:30. Oh, he stopped for a nap from 4 to 4:30. He could have. Oh my gosh, that'll be what's up next. So I'm going to put the subsections in here because in case you guys want to read these on your own, because sometimes I'm not the greatest to follow. I'll give these to you. And then the criminal Idaho rule 12.1 is just the notice of alibi. I'm going to go ahead and put this in there as well. That way you have it all. Yeah, he should have said he didn't know where he was, Detective John. I agree with that. He should have said, I don't know where I don't know. November 13th, that was forever ago now. Or something like, I mean, anything would have been better than what that was. And I'm going to go up to the top and read a little bit of the top again. But it just said that, just saying that he did so. It says, Mr. Kohberger had a long habit of going for drives alone. Often he would go for drives at night. He did so late on November 12th and into November 13th. Now, okay, if he's doing all this driving around too, how is he awake at 9:30 going back to the crime scene and then going all the way to Johnson, going to get a cup of Joe, going to Albertsons, doing a little grocery shopping, and then he goes off the network from 5:30 to 8:30 again that night? Did he sleep? Surprised he didn't get in a car accident or get pulled over, because he's known to get pulled over. Sleep driving. That's one. If that's what it is, if we hear that next, it will be funny. Do you get a list of subs versus members? I do. I have a list of all of the members. I'm just gonna have to write everybody's name down, I think. I don't know if Nightbot has a command for that. I think it does. So I think Nightbot is going to help me do the drawing. It'll automatically spin the names and everything for me. And I'll just pull it up on the screen for everybody, so everybody can see it at the same time. Actually, you know what? Let me go on the Nightbot right now, because I couldn't do it when there wasn't anybody in the chat, because it was like nobody can win. So I'm gonna see if let me see if I can check it out. It says giveaways. Yeah, it says channel members. So let's see, channel members. Let's do active user channel members. Let's just do channel members. And then I don't know. Okay, let's see. I'm going to roll and see what it says. Okay. Why does it say there's no eligible winners for this giveaway? I'm trying to think of how I did it. Like, I don't know. I might have to have. Oh wait, they're coming in now. Oh, okay. Now I see it. It says 3 per, like 3, 4. Oh, I bet it just has to like get you guys all kind of in there. Okie dokie. I'm just trying to kind of figure it out before. Because it said the J. Yeah, it said J1, but she's, I don't think she's a member. Are you a member, Jay? No, she's not a member. That's why I was trying to like make it to where it was just members. But it went to like everybody, I think. So if I go to channel members. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not doing it like this. No. I can't figure that out. I can't figure it out. We're gonna just do. I'm gonna do one that's gonna throw everybody into it. So all this, like everybody that'll be in the live will get it, because like for the members, you guys will just be included twice. And then what I'm gonna do is for the members, I'm just gonna write out all of our members. That's a lot of members. That's a lot. That's a lot of members. Me and Vincent are going to write out all the members. And maybe I'll just do like a drawing that way, or I'll get an app or something. I'll figure it out before Saturday. So be good to me, Nightbot Tsunamis. Yeah, I want to figure out how to do it through Nightbot, because I've seen other people do it. And if I put it on here, like, okay, if I go to channel members, there, now everyone's channel member, but it doesn't, but it's still putting like people that aren't channel members in there. It's very weird. Very weird. Okay, we'll have to figure that out. Because Dawn, you're not on. You're Dawn's on here. Okay. I wonder if that's what it is, Jay. If that's why it's pulling you up still, because it's still pulling you up like into the channel members. So I just wanted to make sure. Let's see. I'm gonna roll it again. Okay, that went to a channel member that time. Mindy went to Mindy. Now can I roll it again? Oh, okay. Now we're doing something. Okay. I think we could do that kind. Sorry if it comes through the chat for everybody that just won. I kept rolling it a couple times. Oh, it was dinner time replay, she said. Yeah, it was a good live. It was a good live. It was a short one too. Let's see. Man, my face is itching. It's that metal. What does driving around alone have to do with BF having exculpatory evidence that could clear him? Nothing. Was she doing also seeing each other? So the stop sign wave at each other. You know, that made me laugh so hard because I live in Ohio. And you know what that reminded me of? Like, I literally split second. I just pictured Kohberger, Bethany at a stop sign. And you know, like when someone's like, you get to a stop sign at the same time and the person waves you on, and then the other person like waves you on, and they're like, no, you first. That's just what went into my mind. So I could, that's what it's going to be. Oh man. He was driving around planning the best way to murder everyone. That's really what it was. Because like, well, when he got to the residence, I think that if that is him circling, that's him trying to work up the nerve. I don't see someone just jumping out of their car and running straight into the house. And I've always said that. That would be so ballsy, you know? Like, don't you think you'd want to work up for a minute? But oh, no. When you got a new bank card, your membership got canceled. I think your name might have changed maybe too. Everybody changing their name. Was Alicia out? maybe you, yeah, you might have blocked Nightbot. You're on here though, Alicia. So it has you on here. Has everybody kind of on here now, it looks like. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Okay. Well, I'm going to put our channel membership back in here. Actually, that's not it. I'm going to put it back in here in a second. If anyone wants to become a member, it's there. We did do a members live the other day, or last week. I wanted to do one on Sunday, but I thought for some reason I thought there was going to be more members lives from other channels that were coming out. So, I didn't do one, and then I should have done one. So I think we'll probably do one this weekend. I don't know how you check your blocked list on your side, Alicia, unless you go to your settings and you do it like I do mine. Settings, permissions, no, settings, community. I'm trying to check this in a while because sometimes people get accidentally timed out. But it looks like we're all good on there. All good on the home front. Okay. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I thought that was your name, Jennifer, because it's Jay. I just thought Jennifer. And the blonde hair, I don't know. I used to work with a lady named Jennifer, and she had blonde hair. Jay, blonde hair. That's who you reminded me of her when I saw your name in the chat. Oh, my ankle just clicked and clacked. Settings. Okay. So it's the same way. Yeah. You just go to settings and then like community or something like that, I think. And then it should be under there and it'll say like blocked people or something like that. Because you can block people, if you need to. I'm going to check this site really quick. I don't think anything else came up. Nope. This site has been so weird today too. It's been real glitchy. So I haven't been really trying to mess with it too much. How do I put a pic of me on my profile like y'all have? Now, somebody, you might know that one. I don't know if I know that one. Let me see. If I go to my page, I'll probably know. I'm like, Summer, do you know that one too? If you go to your page, if you go to your YouTube page, that's how I would do it. But I don't know how you would do it on if you don't go to your like your little page. Like, I'll share this with you here. See, like, you can edit the profile picture here. That's how I would do it. I'm not sure how you guys would do it. I'm not sure. Keep hearing stories that there are other people there when Kaylee and Maddie got there. Kay's family said they saw, Kaylee and Maddie get dropped off. Yeah, got home. Then took Murphy for a walk. Wouldn't say who came and went unless through sliding door. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I used the court one too. I think. Well, I do the state of Idaho. But Bryan came in the live earlier today and he had this one. And then I was like, can you send that to me? Because as soon as I got off my live, it wasn't there anymore. It was gone. And he sent it to me. And then like an hour later, it popped back up and I was like, it's back. I'm like, that's so weird. It must have been everybody checking the website for the same thing. Oh, good night. This made me want to go for a night drive. Oh, well, be careful on your night drive. Be really careful. And don't take too long on that drive because the gas is expensive. Oh yeah, I don't know how you do it on your phone. I used to be only a phone user and now I'm only like a computer user. Do you know what I mean? Like I get on my YouTube on my phone, but not as much. Oh yeah, and I saw Papa was in here, but I didn't see what Papa said. So if you're listening still, Papa Elliot. I saw you. Hey, what's up? But I think that's all I have for you guys. I think that's it. Wow, that's a short live. No, but I did make a couple notes just about, he can travel, from state to state. Literally, he's going from Moscow, Idaho to Pullman, Washington. No problems driving around there. But he's a night driver. He's known for these night drives now all of a sudden, but he doesn't want to drive home to Pennsylvania. Like, had to have his dad come all the way, fly out and make a big deal driving back with him. I think that if you're going to drive out in the country on a random night, you would be able to drive home. I think that you would think. And then he also has no witnesses to testify or to verify his alibi. So that really sucks. But he was just out there driving. Y'all. But I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to like the video, like I said. Don't forget to show up on Saturday, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time as well. We're going to do a live tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday night, Idaho. We're going to go through the PCA. I think we're going to try to go backwards. Go from him driving from Pullman to the crime scene and then kind of go from there. So I'll look over the PCA. I live by that PCA right now, I feel like. And I'll find a good spot to start at, and we will go from there. But I will see you tomorrow on tomorrow night's live. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch the lives from earlier today, I did do a live on Madeline Kingsbury. I did a live on her last night as well. Also, the last 2 nights before that, we did over Long Island serial killer. So if we missed any of those, and I did some pre-recorded videos. I did one on Kylie Rodney and Ryan Upchurch, Fernando Perez Algaba was a good one. And then I had some pre-recordeds for Bryan Kohberger and then also Lindsay Shiver. We're going to go deep into that Lindsay Shiver case once I get more information to kind of produce a whole live. But I'll be back tomorrow and I'll see you guys all then. Bye, guys.